Picture this, two guys trapped in the South Charleston Public Library. One guy loves movies, the other, well, he'd rather be watching reality TV. Can they survive each other's films? Find out on Real Opposites, a library podcast about movies, hosted by Josh and Aaron from the South Charleston Public Library.
Hey guys, and welcome back to the Real Opposites. I'm Aaron.
And I'm Josh.
And this time we have a special guest, Todd, our director.
California?
What?
Sorry, that's a little bit too soon.
Yeah, I mean we get it, but maybe hopefully everybody else watched and they would understand that as well.
Yeah. And if you're not keeping up and watching the movies with us, then why are you even doing this?
Oh no, you can still listen.
You can still listen. You don't have to watch the movies.
Let's not turn around the 5 listeners we have, okay? But we are back to discuss the movies that we have watched this time around. We watched The King of Kong, A Fistful of Quarters, and The Wizard.
Both chosen by Todd.
Yes.
And both were related to video games.
Yeah. I saw The Wizard in theaters in 1989. Loved it. I was prime age for it. I think I was like 7 years old. So it's a video game movie and very nostalgic for it. I hadn't seen it in a few years, so I'm excited to talk about it as an adult.
Yeah. It's always neat to go back and watch, which we've done a couple times, and sometimes it's been that we still like the movie and sometimes we haven't. Movies that we watched when we were younger and really liked, and then go back to watch them and then have a conversation about it. It's been interesting. So,
yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I haven't seen The Wizard in forever, so it was interesting.
Well, of course, I had not seen either movie, but I have now.
Faint surprise here. So similar to Todd, I think I was about 6 when this came out. I don't know if I saw it in theaters, but I definitely watched it on video. And I loved it because that age I loved Mario and Nintendo and video games. And I probably hadn't seen it since like 30 years. And I remember there being much more Nintendo in the movie, like much more video gaming. But it's not bad. It's not a bad little movie, like a little family movie. I mean, it's a sweet little film, and it's like kind of about, I guess childhood trauma to a certain extent.
Yeah, to a certain extent.
And it's kind of sweet, like the conclusion and everything, like the kids. I forget his name, what he's remembering, the dinosaur and how they end up there. Jimmy. But yeah, I mean, it's the movie I remember, just less Nintendo. I remember there being much more Nintendo in the movie, and I remember the Power Glove.
Yeah, I was wondering that because I remember before I watched it, you were talking about the movie and you said it's basically a Nintendo advertisement.
I mean, it is.
And I know, but
it was funded
when
by
I was
Nintendo.
watching it. Right, but when I was watching it, I didn't feel like it came across that way.
It doesn't. It feels like a afternoon special with a lot of Nintendo kind of plugged into it.
Yeah. Now, I did have one question. When this came out, was it before Super Mario 3 was out?
It was released in Japan at the time, but not in the U.S.
It just seems like such a big reveal at that point where maybe in the movie it still was a big reveal to people when this was out.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was part of the reason it was they plugged Nintendo so much into it is to advertise. I know specifically the Power Glove because I think the movie came out in 89. I think the Power Glove came out in 90.
Well,
was it in 89? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it was to plug the Power Glove and Mario 3.
Oh, okay.
So I imagine like they had a script and they were like, this looks like a good one we can work Nintendo into.
Yeah. But I feel like it didn't feel forced or anything.
No.
The Power Glove is in it for what, maybe 3 minutes?
I think it's just like that one scene, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like it was just that. And
for some reason, I remember the Power Glove coming into like the ending with the competition or something.
Oh, no, I think you remembered wrong.
It doesn't. Well, yeah, I clearly... This movie I watched 30-some years ago, I don't remember perfectly clear.
Yeah, I remember more Nintendo being in the movie as well. So I was a little surprised when it was basically just the ending. So it's a movie on its own, I think, without Nintendo.
Which I think is good that it's like, because it is aimed at like that age group, like 6, 7 to 10, 12, like kids. And it's like, I mean, it's a real movie.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
I mean, it's not just like a Happy Meal commercial, for an hour and a half.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, it didn't feel like a commercial. I did feel like it was a legit movie, and it was just like parts of it were Nintendo related.
Yeah, it's funny.
But
It's like less commercialized than the movies
Than
that
movies
aren't,
nowadays.
that aren't funded by Nintendo.
Right.
like every big budget movie is like these watches and these shoes
Right.
and this restaurant, and it's just like
And that's kind of how I figured this would be because
Yeah,
you
and
had said it's funded by Nintendo.
It's
so
not.
I thought it was well done
Yeah.
in that sense.
There was a little bit of marketing in it other than Nintendo. Like whenever they,
were they McDonald's or something?
I don't remember McDonald's. I remember there was like a Hostess truck and a Wonder Bread
okay.
There
truck
was, yeah.
that they when they ran off, they first
That's what they wrote in.
they wrote in, yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, it still was. I mean, there was definitely. I think in any movie you do have that, but it still was done pretty subtle. It
Yeah.
wasn't like so in your face like a lot of movies are these days. But I don't know. I liked it. I thought it was a good little
Yeah.
movie and had a good story.
Like the Transformers, where Marky Mark literally stops an action scene, is like, I need a Bud Light.
Right?
It takes a whole minute to drink a Bud Light. You're just like, what is this?
Why didn't you just Stone Cold it?
But, yeah.
Well, I think the movie has a great cast.
Yeah, it does.
It really does. I mean, it's got Fred Savage, who was like on top of the world at that time.
Yeah.
I think he was doing Wonder Years around.
Oh
then.
man, I loved Wonder Years.
Such a good show.
It was.
And Beau Bridges was a huge actor at the time. Christian Slater,
Yeah.
Jenny Lewis, who was relatively unknown.
Yeah, this is kind of like Christian Slater before he became a star, really.
Yeah.
Because he did this, and then he got into Pump Up the Volume and True Romance. Like this is kind of before he became a star, which is
Right.
probably why he's in the movie a lot more than I remember.
Yeah. But you can tell that like he's going to be a big star.
Yeah, he has
He has the looks.
he has the charisma and
Right.
screen presence.
Now, Beau Bridges, he looked super familiar through the whole movie. What else does he play in that I might have seen?
I mean, he's got like a lot of bit parts,
Okay.
and
That makes sense. He's probably in a lot of TV shows as bit parts then, because that's where I see most people.
I mean, a lot of the bridges tend to be,
He's-
aside from Jeff, tend to be kind of more like,
Bit parts.
yeah, not like
Okay.
huge. Like,
Well, that would make more sense because a lot of people that do those bit parts, like I said, really are in a lot of TV shows, and that's where I
I mean, he had
notice
his
people.
biggest run like in the 70s and 80s. Like,
see if he was ever in like
He's the
CSI
vet
or
in
SVU.
Charlotte's Web.
He's what?
He's the vet in the live action Charlotte's Web. I don't know. I know
He was
that's
in
one of your favorite movies.
oh, he was in Sidekicks
Oh, wow.
with Chuck Norris.
I don't know
and
that. Have
kid
I seen
from-
the live action?
I don't know. You said that
That
Charlotte's
kid.
Web was one of your favorites.
Remember that kid from the
Maybe.
what was
Yeah,
it?
books.
Sequest?
I like the book.
Jonathan Brandis?
Jonathan Brandis. Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to love that movie.
That was a good movie.
Sidekicks. Fabulous Baker Boys is probably his best movie.
Okay.
That's actually with Jeff Bridges.
So yeah, I don't know. He just looks super familiar, I guess.
Yeah, nothing like that's probably his biggest starring role. Otherwise, it's just kind of bit parts here and there.
Okay.
But
There's a lot of voice work too.
I think I
like-
believe he's older than Jeff. I want to say, and he looks like Jeff Bridges, like older Jeff Bridges.
Yeah.
In this movie,
Yeah.
I mean, that could be part of it too.
Yeah.
But I think overall, I mean, the movie, like you said, it has a little bit of heart due to the trauma and things like that. And then you have the funnier, in quote, stuff
Yeah.
that, like the dad going to find the kids and the bounty hunter looking for the kids, and
The
like
least
when they
in-
decided to just slam each other's cars
Yeah.
into each other.
The least intimidating bounty hunter.
Right? Yeah.
Ever, yeah.
But I think
Like,
his
you're
whole
a banker.
role.
What are you doing here?
I think his whole role was to be kind of creepy, which it did definitely came off that way.
Oh yeah, I mean, he could definitely. Yeah, I could.
Yeah. Like, it's
See
like,
that.
why are you looking for children?
Like if this movie was like PG-13 or
Yeah.
R, I'd be like, this would be a different movie.
Right. But I mean, I don't know. I thought that stuff, some of it was kind of ridiculous, of course, but
Yeah,
some
the
of it,
slamming the cars is.
yeah, but it's almost the kind of ridiculous where you kind of enjoy it. Like it's like, this is dumb, but okay,
Yeah.
it works.
And this guy's also like trying to like get his kid.
Right.
So he's
Yeah.
pretty upset over that.
Right.
And he's trying to find his kid for money, basically. So I could see why you might ram your car into.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
partly yes, but then when they decide to like back up and basically duel it
Like
out,
demolition
Yeah.
derby.
yeah, that's where it got ridiculous. But even more ridiculous, and it made me laugh multiple times throughout the movie, was that the dad had a tree in the back of his truck,
Yeah.
and even even after his truck gets towed and chopped up at a chop shop, they put it back together. And the first scene when it's back on the road, that tree's still in the back of the truck.
Oh, that's a big deal.
I didn't notice that
I
one.
didn't notice that either.
Well, I think what it is they've taken it out to chop up the truck, and then when they put his truck back together, they put it back in. But it's just
Well, it's probably that they shot that at a different.
well, it's with the new parts of the truck, like the yellow
Okay.
bed and stuff. And I found it
is pretty
hilarious
funny,
because
then.
I'm like,
That's
you're
a
going
big
to
story
go,
point.
you're going to go cross country to look for your kid. And you don't think, let me take this tree out the back
It's
real
like
quick.
the Big Lebowski. Like that tree really ties the truck together. The carpet really ties the room together.
But that was my favorite character was the tree.
Well, he owned like
tree,
a
right?
landscaping company or something, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, we got that because of the hat, which was also in the movie multiple times.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't think we needed a full tree in the back
Yeah, probably.
to realize, oh, he's a landscaper. But I mean, I loved it. I thought that was hilarious, and I'm sure that's why it was done.
That's
I would
really funny.
think. So that was another little funny part, I thought.
Yeah, I think where we mentioned earlier about there being more Nintendo in the movie, it made the movie go on a little bit longer than I thought.
Yeah.
It had before. It's not a long movie. It's like an hour 40 minutes, but there's really only like 15 minutes of Nintendo.
It's mostly all at the end. Like
Yeah.
the big showdown.
Right.
So for whatever reason, that just made the movie like kind of slow.
It's probably because like I said, like they probably had a script and they're like, we can work Nintendo into this script. Like that's the thing that they're trying to get
Right.
across the country to, or that
Yeah.
So it's probably why those kind of like stop the progression, stop the narrative
A little bit.
That makes sense.
a little bit. No, Lucas is a boss with his power glove.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I vividly remember Lucas though. I was
Well,
like,
he's-
that
he's
kid's
a
cool.
meme.
He's wearing like a black shirt and he's got a power glove.
Yeah.
That's who I want to be.
It's so bad.
So, yeah, I had a question. Did this movie come out before or after everyone knew the Power Glove, like, sucked?
Right
I
around
guess
the
it was-
same time.
Yeah.
Around the same time.
Because the Power Glove, I think it was only in production for like a year.
Yeah, 'cause it
'cause
sucked.
it was brutally so bad. They only had like 2 games for it.
Yeah.
And
And what like what we were talking, like what they show in the movie, like him like doing some like
moving his,
Wasn't
Magic.
even real.
you could I mean it was just like controller on a glove basically.
yeah.
Which is also just no wonder it didn't do well. That would be super awkward.
Yeah, I mean who wants to play like
Who just like
this.
typing on your forearm.
But as a kid, you see him playing this like racing game with this glove.
Oh, for sure.
And it looks amazing.
oh if it had worked like that,
Yeah.
they'd still be making them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that like they would have been before Wii in that
Yeah.
aspect. They could have had bowling and everything.
They
with
should
that
have got
thing.
sued for like false advertising. Like you advertise this in a movie funded by Nintendo. I'm surprised that didn't happen actually.
Yeah,
That it could do these things. And
that's
then
what I
it's
was
like,
going to say. As a
turns out
child, I
turns out
would,
it doesn't.
or even as an adult, if I watched that and then I bought that glove, I would be so upset to find out, no, you actually just push the buttons that are now located on your arm.
Yeah. I think it's still kind of cool though.
Is it? It might look cool.
It looks cool, but Nintendo is just, they've always been cutting edge. Like they had the light gun with Duck Hunt.
Yeah.
They had the Power Glove. They had the Wii with all the motion.
Right, that is true.
I mean,
I guess the Wii is like finally what that glove was supposed to be.
I think so. I think so.
So, I mean, they did finally
It's like 20
rein
years
in
later.
that. Right. Yeah. That's what I was going to say. They did rein in that technology. It just took them a long time. But I think the Power Glove looked awesome, but I would have been highly upset
Yeah.
if I couldn't steer my car with it.
Yeah, it was $75, which is like
It's like
That was-
$400 and
Yeah,
now
that's crazy.
yeah, something like
Yeah,
that.
back then, that would have been a lot.
it would at least be maybe probably $250
Yeah, I'd
probably.
say.
Probably about 3 times as much,
Let's
maybe a little
Say
more.
at least, yeah,
See.
for sure.
And the system itself, I mean, was probably $150.
Right.
So you're
Yeah.
paying like half of that for the Power Glove.
I think I remember like the Super Nintendo, like a few years later was like 150 or 200.
What year are we in?
89.
But I never owned one. I had a friend that had one, but he also had like a Neo Geo and
$183.
3DO and all these extravagant systems.
What's a Neo Geo?
It's an arcade.
What is that?
Well, it was a home system, but it actually they first started out as like arcade cabinets, Neo Geo. So like the actual system and the arcade cabinets use the same cartridges. So there's these like giant cartridges for the system, but you can also put one of those in an arcade cabinet.
Oh, that's kinda
and still
cool.
play off of it.
That's cool.
But it was outrageously expensive. The
I'd
games
say,
were like
yeah.
over $100 at the time.
Jeez, that's wild.
Now you can build one with a Raspberry Pi for $40.
Yeah, just like Billy Mitchell.
Oh, fun fact. Do you guys know what Jimmy went on to do?
I do not.
When the next one?
No, this one. No,
You mean the real guy or
the guy
Jimmy
who plays the guy who
character?
plays Jimmy.
Oh, okay.
Do you know what he went on to do?
Act more?
It's a horror movie.
I've seen. What was he in?
He's as a teenager.
Please tell me it's Troll 2.
No, he's the son in Jeepers Creepers 2. So he's like the main character in Jeepers
Oh, that's
Creepers
right.
2.
Yes.
Wow.
I did see that.
Also, Jenny Lewis is Rilo. Is it Rilo Kiley?
Rilo Kiley.
Rilo
Kiley.
Kiley. She's awesome.
What's that, like Star Wars?
She's a singer.
Yeah, she's a
What?
singer. She's in
Jenny
a band.
Lewis,
in a band.
the girl in the movie.
Yeah.
She's a singer. Rilo Kiley. That's her name is Rilo Kiley, like the band name.
Oh, I thought, okay.
Yeah. It's
I
really
don't
good.
know. Isn't
It's
there
good.
like a Star Wars character that's close to that?
Kylo Ren.
Kylo Ren.
See? That's very close.
It is. It's
I think I get credit for at least knowing.
this vaguely
something.
sounds like something I may know.
So before I
I'm
started,
giving myself credit.
so I used to listen to Rilo Kiley a good bit. And like before I started listening to them, I was like, is it a Star Wars fan? Like that was my immediate
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, you mentioned before the ending, which is really sweet. They go.
Figure out what Jimmy doesn't really talk throughout the movie.
Yeah, so Jimmy doesn't
he-
really talk much other than the
Yeah.
one time he's like, I don't want to quit. And then
Yeah,
they
yeah.
hug him and stuff.
Yeah.
And he says California
Yeah.
a lot.
California.
But so, I mean, it is really sweet. They end up obviously in California, and they end up at the dinosaur attraction, the tourist spot. And he just takes off running into the dinosaur, and he carries a lunchbox that we never know really what it is up
Yeah.
until towards the end when he drops it. And it's like pictures of his dead sister.
Yeah, his twin sister.
Yeah, his twin sister that he like watched drown or something. And it was like his happy memory was of them at the dinosaur. So he runs inside and leaves his sister's memory box in there. So that was really sweet. And I have no idea where I was going with that.
Yeah, it's like a sweet ending.
Yeah, I think it had a perfect ending to it.
Yeah. Except for I'm like, don't leave those pictures there. You're going to want those.
Yeah. I think they had little baby shoes in there too.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
like, yo, keep that stuff.
Yeah.
You need-
Yeah, I thought that was weird too. I don't know.
I get the like what it means to leave it there,
Yeah.
but also like no.
I thought maybe just leave
Take
like
these.
one picture.
yeah, or
Like
something
just
like
one
that.
of the pictures of him and her or something.
Yeah, you'll want these pictures.
Plus, you know that somebody's just come along and throw it away.
That's what the janitor's just like, oh,
Yeah. Right after they left, the janitor definitely just trashed that.
clank into the trash can.
Oh,
I
that's
know.
so sad.
Isn't that sad?
And he's he's little.
Somebody
He doesn't understand he's going
There were plenty of adults in that room.
Yeah, the
Somebody
adults
should have
been
thought
like,
that
all right,
through.
we need to take these pictures are valuable.
You know what? Maybe it was just off camera. One of the parents did grab it, you know?
They might have.
They probably had duplicates, right? Like
I think it would have been better if they just planted the tree there
They like Polaroid
in memory. That way the tree had an ending. Like, no, Jimmy, we'll just plant this tree in her memory
oh my god.
right beside the dinosaur.
That's perfect.
And then when Pee-wee came along, there'd be a tree there.
Yeah.
I was getting ready to say, I was getting ready to mention Pee Wee.
Yeah.
That's probably where you
so
were going.
Which one?
Pee-wee was first.
Which one came? Pee-wee was first.
Pee Wee was 80,
Oh, well.
86 or 87.
Well, never mind.
Yeah.
The tree
Yeah.
wouldn't have been there yet.
And I keep forgetting that's Tim Burton's first movie. I always think Beetlejuice is, but Pee Wee's.
Oh wow,
First movie.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great movie.
I need to go back and watch it. I haven't
The
seen
guy in the
Sales
truck
at all.
always used to freak me out when I was a kid. Was like one of those weird things.
Large
Nothing-
Marge.
Large Marge. Yeah.
Yeah.
For whatever reason that scene did, but nothing. The Exorcist
Nothing
is
else?
fine, but Large Marge.
That was a scary scene.
yeah. got to
I don't
me.
remember it. What happens in
I think I don't know, but anyway.
just a creepy guy? Is that what it is? I mean,
No, I mean I don't. I haven't seen it.
He's riding with Large Marge, and she's telling this like ghost story as they're riding together, and it turns out that like the story that she's telling him is her. It's about her, and like she looks over at him, and like they have all these like practical effects on her face.
Yeah.
It's just very scary.
It's
that's
creepy.
hilarious.
But that's a good movie.
So I now want to go to the dinosaurs. I think it would be cool to see.
Yeah, I wonder if they're still
are
there.
they still there? I wonder.
I imagine they are. They've got a Wikipedia.
Pretty big attraction.
If not, they have them on the way. I don't know where it is, but it's in between here and Nashville. There's a dinosaur attraction as well.
Okay.
Yeah, you could recreate the wizard.
Yeah.
I'd like to mention
Just
how
yell California and run into the dinosaur.
Yeah, with a little lunchbox.
I like to mention how The Wizard is like a spiritual sequel to Over the Top, or spiritual remake.
It does feel that way.
What's over the top?
So Over the Top is a Stallone movie from '87, I think. It's like, so he picks up it's like a road movie with Stallone's dad picking up his kid from military school who he hasn't seen in years, and it's just like they have an encounter. The whole thing is about arm wrestling because Stallone's a arm wrestler in the movie.
Oh, okay.
So they're going to this competition in Vegas, I think, and they even have like a scene that reminds me of the scene in the diner with Lucas, like, or at the arcade or whatever, like where Stallone's like getting his kid to arm wrestle this kid who is similarly dressed.
Yeah.
Similarly, like, oh, I'm cool. Like that's the bad kid.
Yeah. Right. That's the kid to beat.
Yeah, and it's like, I don't know. There's a lot of, and it's just this road movie with the kid, and I don't know, but
A lot of trucking.
I think I have heard of that.
A lot
movie.
of arm wrestling.
Yeah.
We just replace arm wrestling with Nintendo. I like Over the Top too.
It's a great movie.
It's not a good. I mean, it's like I don't know. It's one of those '80s movies that I like because they would never make that again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's
They
like-
just made Golden Arm in 2020. That was.
Is that about smacking people?
It was another arm wrestling movie, and
Oh.
it was pretty good.
Oh.
It was funny.
Well,
Okay.
It's
right
about
now,
two sisters that go on a road trip together.
Oh, so it is the sequel to Over the Top.
It is very similar, and like rebuild their relationship by
Okay.
doing that. And the one sister is a trucker,
Yeah.
so it definitely is like a very.
There was this thing about
Inspired by.
like the canon movies in the '80s though, where they didn't know that they were not the best written movies, but they still kind of had this veneer of like somewhat professionalism about
Right.
it. I don't know, but Over the Top's a fun little movie. It kind of made me want to watch Over the Top after I watched The Wizard.
well, go ahead.
I may have thrown it on after The Wizard.
You may have.
May have.
So you
Yeah.
did.
So you
Yeah.
you did watch Over the Top after you watched.
I don't know. I have fond memories of that movie.
Yeah.
It's a dumb movie, but I like it.
I mean, I would guess back then arm wrestling was probably bigger.
It's
at
such
the
a weird
time.
thing to build a movie around.
I mean, wrestling was huge in the 80s.
Yeah,
Right.
oh, yeah.
I mean, right now, like the slapping competitions are popular.
Which is
so
the dumbest thing. Like, what? How is that
Right?
interesting to watch?
I mean,
I don't know.
have you
That
ever
one girl
watched?
that does the front roll is pretty fun.
Have
That's
you
been
seen
all
some
over
of those
TikTok
people's
lately.
faces when they get
I
smacked
saw
out?
one guy that like his whole face was like swollen and
Yeah.
like, he had cuts and like he looked like it was like half of his face was like
Right.
I was like
I don't get it. Like,
yeah, it's just like
I would maybe sign up to slap somebody, but I don't want slapped.
like I don't like violent
That's not how
sports
it
like
goes.
that. You know, like at least something like boxing, I can like there's a real skill and like there endurance, and you have to.
Yeah. There's
an
I
art
don't
to
know.
it.
I don't know. I
Yeah.
mean, also, who lets these people that need to practice slapping? Who lets them practice on them?
I guess they're just like slapping punching bags or something. Like
Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting, but anyways, I was just saying, like nowadays
They
they could
go
do.
to a butcher and just slap meat.
I think nowadays they could do Over the Top too, and it's just people going on the road to do slapping
Don't give
competitions.
Stallone ideas.
I mean, I would watch that.
You need
Maybe
to watch Over the Top first.
I like
He's picking his 45-year-old kid up from military school
to go slapping.
to go slap a kid. I broke my rotator cuff last time, but I'm going slapping now.
I don't know. I do like. I mean, and so maybe I would enjoy Over the Top, but I like some of those old cheesy movies. They're just And this is one of them. Wizard is
Yeah.
one of those that you can just put on, and there's some funny stuff, there's some ridiculous stuff, but it's not a hard watch either. But
No,
it's fun.
It's not. It doesn't require much of you.
Right, exactly. And
Yeah.
you know, as we've discussed, that's what I like. I like to not have to
Really?
think very much.
How many seasons of Survivor have you watched?
All 42.
Jesus.
Well, we're on 40. Well, 43, I guess. 43 is over, so all 43.
43
It's
seasons.
a lot of time.
Yeah, 21 years.
Never get that back.
I don't want it back. It was well worth it.
I just can't with this movie. I couldn't handle how many people are just like either stealing money from 8-year-olds.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's definitely like
Like-
watching it as an adult, and it's like these 3 kids, and I'm like, there's no way this happens. Like an adult, you're either gonna get murdered or
Right.
like some like CPS is coming,
Yeah.
and like picking like you're going to the police station. No one's gonna see like 3 kids just walking down a dirt road.
Pick him up.
Yeah, and just like what?
The
No.
police
Yeah.
should have picked him up in about an hour.
Yeah,
Right.
There's no way.
I mean,
And you have the first time is on the 2 guys pick them up and they're counting the money in the back. So they see it
Yeah.
and they chase them through like the cows or whatever that's in the
Yeah.
back with them. And then the second time is when those other kids, and I also wanted to like shake, what is his name? Fred Savage's character,
yeah.
Corey, just wanted to like shake him and be like, stop pulling all your money out. Because they're like, give me that $20. And he's like, hold on, let me pull out the 60 I have and only give you a 20. So of course they take the rest.
Yeah.
I also feel like there was some stupidity on the kid's part. I mean, if you're smart enough to escape and be traveling across country without getting caught, you should be smart enough to not pull all your money out at once.
well, he originally thought he was going to get to California on $27.
This is also true.
He doesn't know how money works.
Yeah.
This is
Probably
also-
never
yeah,
been robbed.
Right. I mean, no, he had been robbed by that point
Well, yeah, that point.
already once.
I do have I also like the very ending. So it's kind of implied that the family gets back together, and the stepdad
Right.
is just standing there like he doesn't
Like,
he
so
doesn't
uninterested?
understand what has just happened.
Like,
in his life.
so I'm just gonna exit right here. I'll just,
She's like, take our kids home. And he's like he's so clueless.
Well, it seemed like throughout the movie that relationship was unraveling.
Right.
Right.
He didn't seem like a nice person.
No.
He was wanting to like commit Jimmy and
That's
Yeah.
true. And then he found video gaming
yeah.
in the hotel.
Well, no, that
And
was
that's-
No,
that's the dad.
stepdad.
That's not the step.
you're
the-
talking about.
yeah.
They're talking
Oh,
about
I was talking about the.
Bo Bridges.
No, we're talking about like
Well,
the
I'm super confused
the
now.
wife's husband, the ex-wife's husband or boyfriend.
Oh, is that
or
what that
whatever.
was?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was a lawyer.
And he's like super into it, and then
He
there
may
at
have
the end,
been.
he's like, she's like, take our kids home to the main father, and he's just still there like, cool, like it hasn't
Well,
sunk
that's
in for him
oh,
that
okay.
they're
I
breaking
thought
up.
you were talking about. So that's
Just like,
why.
hey, can we go see the other dinosaurs?
That's why I assumed he was just a lawyer
Why is he a law? Why would they bring a lawyer?
No, I just think he's dumb.
because the lawyer was trying to take control of the child.
Oh.
He did have some like lawyer vibes going on.
Yeah, he was in a suit.
That doesn't make him a lawyer.
I'm gonna come dressed up tomorrow. Be like, hey, Aaron, I graduated law school.
Kendall's a lawyer. I've never seen her in a suit.
Well, my point is, nobody else in the movie's in a suit other than what I thought was the lawyer and the guy who's getting paid to hunt children
Hunt
for
children.
sport.
He makes a sport of it. That's right.
Okay, well. But I will say,
But I like that you mentioned the Bo Bridges playing video games.
yeah,
It's the funniest part of the movie for
it
me.
is hilarious.
It was.
It's just like both of them, like Christian Slater, when they're playing the video games in the hotel room, they're like
Yeah,
like just jamming
Just
on
mashing
these
the
controllers. I'm
controller.
Like, you're not doing anything. There's no way you're not like.
Yeah.
but what I was saying was about Bo's character, I guess the actual dad. I mean, even he seemed to not care much about what was going on with Jimmy in the beginning.
Yeah.
And also, he has a weird relationship with his son. He doesn't want him to go with him. Christian Slater's character.
He's got like alcoholism or something.
Yeah, and
going
like,
on.
so he doesn't seem like the greatest guy either, but it's like he finds gaming and the world changes. Like, he is all of a sudden nice. He played that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and I don't
right.
know, was just infected
which
with.
is like the hardest game ever.
Yeah,
love-
that game
I
is
love that game.
merciless.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've only ever played like one level, but I love that game. So I just thought it was funny because he does.
That's what video games do to you.
They make you
person.
nice.
Make you love your kids.
Note to parents: play video games.
Give you something to relate to.
There you go. But I liked that. I liked that was like his turning moment was finding that he enjoyed a video
Didn't they
game.
just make that remake that Ninja Turtles game?
They did.
Yeah.
Yeah, Shredder's Revenge.
Yeah.
Oh, did they?
And they put out the old one, like Turtles in Time, and that one didn't.
Yeah, they've got a big collection of
I remember
all
Turtles
of
in
them.
Time.
That was the one I played. Was Turtles. I mean, I played the original game in the arcade, but Turtles in Time was what I had on. I didn't have a regular Nintendo when I was a kid. I had first one I had was a Super Nintendo. My cousin had a regular Nintendo, and he had the Millennium Falcon.
My grandma
so I was
had
over there
it.
a lot. But yeah, Turtles in Time was.
I think that's the one that my grandma had. Was it Nintendo or Super
Tobey
Nintendo that
Maguire's.
had Zombies Ate My Neighbors? That was my favorite game
What?
ever.
That's probably.
I heard they were going to remake that, but
Tobey Maguire's in what?
Tobey Maguire is a cameo. He's this is funny. Tobey Maguire's first movie appearance. He's Lucas's friend on the far left with a mullet.
I thought that was him.
Just after 3 finalists for Video Armageddon are announced.
So he's like the little one.
I guess
Yeah, I thought that was him. It looked
Yeah.
like him.
I didn't notice. I'll have to go back and look at that.
I was having like a flashback when I saw it because I remember what's his face, Elijah Wood, in Back to the Future
Yeah.
too.
Little baby.
Oh my God, that is Tobey Maguire. Look at him with a little
Wow.
Spidey mullet.
Little
Yeah.
Spidey mullet.
That's amazing.
See.
See him right there,
He's right there.
Tobey Maguire, Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
yep.
So there actually is an over-the-top connection.
Oh, okay.
The truck that Spanky is driving when the trucks block the road in front of the PI is the same truck used in Over the Top.
Huh.
So they did it on, and it still has Hawk
And it's-
written on the
yeah,
door.
it still has Hawk, which is his name.
Lincoln Hawk.
Oh my God.
So they did it on
my God.
purpose.
Which is, what a name.
No.
Lincoln Hawk.
It's a cool name.
It's like,
I would like that.
I'm
to
about
be.
ready to change my name legally to Lincoln
cool
Hawk.
band.
Can you imagine? Welcome to Real Opposites. This is Lincoln Hawk.
Lincoln
I don't know. That sounds like a CB name.
It does.
This is Rusty Nail and Lincoln Hawk
Or a wrestling name.
flying in. Yeah, I guess that's true.
Wait. I do love so for as dumb as Fred Savage is in over the course of the thing, the little girl really nails it some of the time, especially
Jenny
when
Lewis.
it comes to getting away from the guy who's chasing the kids.
Oh yeah.
She just like really leans into he touched my boob.
Oh yeah, yeah, she was
like
good.
gets him
That was
beat
hilarious.
up, gets him surrounded
Yeah.
by truckers.
Yeah,
Hey, what?
yeah. Because the second time he actually gets Jimmy and drives away, and Corey is just like, he's gone. She comes in and she's like, wait a minute. And she just starts like walking off, and he's like, "What are you doing?" And she's like, "Oh, I have friends."
Oh, our friend.
And that's when he gets surrounded by the trucks
Spanky.
and the truckers. Yeah,
Spanky the truck driver.
yeah.
He was in a lot at that time though too, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He was.
He used to be
character.
like
He
a
was-
ball player, right?
I think so. He was in License to Kill. He gets eaten by a shark.
Oh,
His
no.
name's Sharky, and he gets eaten by a shark.
Can we also talk about where was her family?
Her dad's a truck driver,
It was on
and
the
her
road.
mom
So you're
had,
just on the road,
and
maybe.
her mom has a gambling addiction, and so isn't around.
So it's just normal for her to.
Be by herself.
Roam.
That's what
Yeah,
they
on the
said.
road.
It looked like maybe she became part of the family at the end as well.
Yeah,
Yeah, they just
Yeah.
adopted her. It's
Yeah,
not-
they were like, meh, you can just come home.
Yeah,
her dad sent her home early.
sequel.
Lost a daughter, gained a daughter.
Yeah.
Oh my!
Oh, phew, that was dark.
We're a full family.
Well, one just goes the other, I guess. Let's take you.
But she really steered the whole movie. I mean, they wouldn't
did.
have
Yeah,
made
she
it
really
without
did.
They would've
her.
died.
There would have been no movie without
Oh yeah,
her,
they would have
also,
definitely
like-
been dead.
Yeah.
They would have just died at the bus station.
Yeah.
It make things really weird for Fred Savage though if she gets adopted.
This is true.
Um,
Maybe it'd be a
true.
loose adoption.
Yeah.
Whatever that is.
what's a loose adoption?
I think it's just
She
a.
just lives in the treehouse.
Yeah, basically, she just lives with them. It's not actually an adoption.
That's called kidnapping.
No, she went willingly.
It's still kidnapping.
Oh,
Not if you change their social security number, 90, name, and
dye her hair.
yeah,
goodness.
Wizard. Pretty good.
Yeah, I think so.
It's an okay movie.
I would recommend it. I mean, I don't know that I'd watch it multiple times or anything like that, but it was a nice little
Yeah, I mean, I
throwback style movie. I enjoyed it.
yeah.
I think it'd be a good movie to watch with your kids.
Yeah, 100%. And I don't think there's tons, at least not right now, video game movies or movies about video games.
Yeah, about video games.
I guess we got Pixel not too long, like however
There's a
many
lot
years
of bad
ago.
video game movies.
That are good for but not that are for kids, like Pixels,
Right. I don't know. I just thought it was neat that was the basis, and it was just interesting.
Surprised they haven't remade it, honestly. Like
That would be kinda cool.
or something very similar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, watch out from Real Opposites, the next movie that we're making.
It's going to be a remake of The Wizard.
I want to be Jimmy and just carry around a lunchbox.
I'm going to go tweet Stallone. Be like, yo, you want to remake The Wizard?
With
Slash
slap
over the
boxing.
top.
With slap boxing, and we'll bring Fred Savage and Rilo Kiley along.
They'll be the parents.
I mean, that could be fun. Okay, so I guess that wraps up our discussion on The Wizard. I think we all enjoyed it. Probably would recommend it, at least a one-time watch or watch with your kids. It's fun. So I guess now we'll go to some announcements from the library, and then we'll come back and discuss The King of Kong.
A fistful of quarters.
All right, coming up in February, we have on February 4th, a Community Creative Space Sewing Workshop. On February 6th, the Community Creative Space Glass Etching class. I believe both of those may be already booked out by the time of release, but keep your eye out on our calendar for the next time we have great events like that. On February 21st, we have Cozy Coloring. It's just a time to come get together with other adults and color and listen to some music. And then February 27th, our book club will be back with an artist of the floating world, and we will meet at 6 p.m. You can come pick up your books starting February 6th. I'm going to pass it on over to Kendall with youth.
Hi guys, it's Kendall here from Youth Services at SCPL. We have a jam-packed February for you. We have, of course, our regular storytime programming, Tuesdays and Thursdays at 10:30 a.m. We are here with Alphabets on Tuesday, Words and Wiggles on Thursday. Both are story times aimed at kids ages 5 and below, and we dance and sing and read, and it's a great time. Also starting February 6th, we have our United States Passport Adventure beginning at the Imagination Station. Kids can come in and pick up their own U.S. passport. And as they learn about each of the 50 states and the U.S. territories, they can get a stamp or a sticker in their passport. And this is just a great way for kids to have fun and learn more about our country and a little bit of history, geography, maybe even a little bit about fun food along the way. We also have 2 meetings of our teen movie club, Real Readers, this month. On February 3rd at 3 o'clock, we will be showing The Rocketeer. And then 2 weeks later on February 17th, also at 3 o'clock, we'll be showing Beetlejuice. Both of which are sure to be a great time. And then we have 2 special events this month. On Saturday the 25th at 2 p.m., we have a local author coming in to read some of her books to our little ones. Her name is Renee Eccles Hardy, and she will be touching on Black History Month and how to love ourselves and think positively. So we're very excited about that. That's 2 p.m. on February 25th. That's a Saturday. And then following that, Tuesday, February 28th, in the evening at 6:30, we are going to have a big showdown. Unicorns versus dragons. Miss Liv and I are going to take opposite sides of this raging debate of which is better. I am, of course, representing unicorns. Miss Liv is representing dragons. And you can come in and cast your vote. We're going to debate. We're going to have snacks. It's going to be an awesome time. So please mark your calendars for that event on the 28th in the evening. And I think that's all of our February programs. So I'm going to pass it back to Toby. We can't wait to see you this month. Thank you.
All right, guys, now we're headed back to the show.
All right, so we're back from our commercials, and is it commercials? Is that what we say?
Commercials.
That seems lame.
Ad.
Okay. All right, we're
Announcements.
back from those messages from the library, and we're going to talk about King of Kong, A Fistful of Quarters. So, Todd, maybe start with telling us why you wanted us to do this movie as well.
Well, I thought it was a good pairing with The Wizard because they both involve video games. But I just love this documentary, and I think everybody should see it. It's probably one of my favorite documentaries.
Yeah, I also love documentaries, and I remember you talking about it before. You both have mentioned it, but I can remember Josh talking about it, and doing this podcast, Josh makes me watch all these artsy movies that I don't even understand. And then I remember...
At least you know.
It's just like Josh is like, watch Mulholland Drive. And then I do. And then he's like, maybe you should watch Fistful of Quarters. And I'm like, okay, that what is that? Oh, it's a documentary about Donkey Kong. And it's just one of those moments where it's like, what?
Well, I've recommended King of Kong to so many people throughout the years. And I'm like, it's this documentary about a Donkey Kong competition. And they're like, okay, sure. And then I force them to watch it. No, I'm just, I mean,
I tie them to the chair.
they watch it. We'll just say that. They watch it.
Toothpicks holding their eyes open, but they watch it.
And they're like, this is the most fun movie. Like, it's like, they're just like, it's so captivating. And the people, not the characters, but like
they're actual
they're
people.
real
They
people.
seem like characters.
Well, a couple of friends were like, I was over at their house and I was like, oh, I'll put on King of Kong. And they were kind of like, they were doing something else and they kind of started coming because they heard the movie. So they came into the room and were like, are these people real?
But wait, what I'm also hearing is you just show up at people's houses, while they're doing other things, turn on the TV and show movies,
I just show my friends' houses
and hope they watch them.
and just like, I'm going to play King of Kong. This is what I do. I just go, whenever I go to someone's house, I'm just like, King of Kong's coming on. Sign into my voodoo. King of Kong's coming on.
That would explain why it was on my recently watched.
Hi, friends. I know you're cleaning your house today, but I'm here to show King of Kong.
No, they were, another friend of mine, Josh, was working on my computer.
Oh,
And we were just kind of hanging out. And, but anyway, it was, they were just, and it made me, because I'd seen it so many times. Like, it's one of those like, comfort movies I'll just put on.
Yeah.
Just like doing something around the house, put on King of Kong. But it's just, I don't know. And it's like, I know, it's almost like Jaws. Like, I just know it word by word.
Right.
And so it never struck me as like, this is kind of like a mockumentary if you just don't really, if you've never seen it before, it kind of comes off like,
100%.
It definitely
like an extended episode of Parks and Rec or The Office or something like that style of
Like
kind of
dry-
documentary sitcom-ish kind of thing.
I think it was just all the different personalities.
Yeah, it's just like,
They're almost unbelievable that they're all real.
yeah, I mean, like, it's just like these people exist and they're that quirky and just, unique. Be very polite and say unique.
Yeah. It is a really good movie, and
It is.
and it does have a lot of the things you want in a movie. Oddly
Yeah.
enough, it's got
You have a hero and a villain.
right, exactly. You have ups and downs. You have
dog.
happy moments, sad moments.
Yeah.
It
It's captivating.
it is.
And it sounds like the dumbest thing ever when I tell people, but I'm just like, trust me, it's really good. And they really like it.
You're going to root for this guy
Yeah.
to beat the Donkey Kong record.
To beat this other guy in Donkey
100%.
Kong.
Well, I think you.
couldn't make it. You couldn't.
Steve Weeby.
Steve
Weeby.
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 Yeah.
That's what I said.
Say it right.
Yeah, because they were saying Steve Weeby.
Weeb.
Right?
Hey, Walter, it's Weeby.
Yeah,
Say it again.
Hey, Walter, it's Weeby. He finally tells him, like, towards the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Stop calling him Weeb.
But it was good. I really enjoyed this one. Like I said, I like documentaries anyways, but I don't know. There's just, it was fun. And I can't stand Mitchell.
Billy Mitchell.
Yeah.
You couldn't craft like a better, like,
Villain.
fumbling Lex Luthor kind of character. Like, you couldn't write that.
And I like the way they put the movie together because they definitely show how he was just making stuff up all the time. Like,
Yeah,
he'd be
yeah.
like, you're not a real gamer unless you do it in public. And then they'd show it right beside the clip where he refuses to go play in public.
And he still does. Like,
Yeah.
there was a competition in, what was it? I don't know, a few years ago, and they were like, Steve Wiebe came on to do a live score like on live TV. And
Oh, he's still playing.
And Billy
Yeah.
Mitchell declined. to
He
come on.
reclaimed his record in 2020 after a couple other guys had knocked him out.
Oh,
Yeah.
He
nice.
reclaimed the top.
Good. Steve Wiebe seemed like a
Steve
good
Weeby's
guy.
a good guy.
But he's not the top anymore, but
Yeah.
he did do a live.
I think he's listed as number 12 right
Ooh,
now.
Steve Wiebe. Listen, we need to fix that. So what I think we should do.
Listen, I scoured the internet and could not find his contact information
Okay.
anywhere. Like, he has a Twitter, but he hasn't posted in 2 years.
Oh.
None of his social media has been updated in
no,
2
did he
years.
die?
So if anyone knows
No, I doubt
where
it.
Steve Wiebe is, they could tell him to contact the Real Opposites podcast.
Call in right
and
now.
we'd
Because
love
what
to
I'm-
talk
Oh, this
about
isn't
him.
live.
Because what I'm thinking
Call him
is
right now.
304
Miss Cleo, call me now.
6561.
We're not a radio program.
I think that would be great. We will just do a live podcast and a broadcast of him attempting to gain his score back.
Yeah. So we just need a Donkey Kong cabinet.
Yeah.
An official, like original Donkey
Man, I
Kong
wish.
cabinet.
I think we should just
I
get
had
like
one.
a Barbie game or something and have him get the high score on it.
But I vote for Barbie Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
Is that a thing?
It was like a Barbie archaeology one, but it was definitely Tomb Raider in a
Oh.
Barbie skin.
Oh.
That would be kind of funny.
It was
But yeah, so I mean that could be an episode for sure.
Well, yeah.
I feel like he may not hear us, but Billy Mitchell, I feel like
He scours the
Oh, we're
internet.
definitely-
he scours the internet for any mention of his name. But my point is that his name, Billy?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
I just had that, oh, Billy, in my head for some reason when I said that.
But I feel like he definitely scours the internet for his name constantly. Like that's what he still does.
Yeah, because
That
he's
and
like,
make hot sauce.
he's still suing people
He's
for like,
suing a YouTuber right
yeah,
now.
Carl Yopes, who does like this. He has
defamation.
a speed running YouTube channel,
Yeah.
and he just goes over speed running records and stuff. And he's suing him for defamation, like again, like he sued him before and lost, and so he's suing him again for defamation. Like he just like anybody that's
Because they said he lost or something? Because I saw something about that too.
yeah, and I think I've actually like seen that video too, and he doesn't say anything that's like not accurate.
I think
Or he's-
I think the video he just goes through like the whole case of them
Yeah,
throwing out his scores.
yeah, which is like that happened, Billy.
Right.
It's not defamation.
So,
It's only mention facts.
It's public record.
Yeah.
So like in 2018, they expunged all of Billy Mitchell's scores.
Yeah, because it was something to do with like the way he played it. He was
Yeah,
playing
well,
emulators,
He kept submitting
videos.
videos that were clearly that showed evidence that they were on emulators.
Yeah.
And I guess that's probably the reason they expunged his scores.
You have to play on like an actual
Arcade.
Yeah, it's like in the
original
movie,
arcade
like they
cabinet.
like at Fun Spot or something. It's like
Right.
an original, as close to like the original as you can.
Man, if my Donkey Kong arcade cabinet had never been ruined, we could actually hold a competition
Do you
here.
actually have a Donkey Kong cabinet?
I did.
Wow.
wow.
Are you-
But then my dad put it in a building and the building leaked and it
Are you
ruined.
being for real?
100%. Yep. We had it in our garage.
But Guinness did give Billy Mitchell back
That's crazy.
his scores, like this past year,
Yeah.
like 2 years ago. But Twin Galaxies did not.
Oh, okay.
So there's still ongoing like legal
So then
stuff between him
the
and Twin Galaxies.
so Guinness no longer works with Twin Galaxies for their numbers. I guess.
Allegedly, yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know why you'd want to work with Twin Galaxies. They seem like a mess.
that's true. I mean, we watched that. We did watch. I mean, the whole show is about their record keeping process, which seemed dubious at best, and easily swayed by personal opinion.
We tried
about
to submit
the
scores,
players.
but the guy just started singing songs to us. I don't know.
Well, I think Walter Day did step down from Twin
Yeah,
Galaxies,
he
and now
did.
he's pursuing a musical career.
Career quotes.
I didn't say
He's
that.
still alive.
I guess.
I keep thinking that this movie is older than it is, though.
No, it's
No,
like
it's 2007.
2006, so-
Right, because it looks like it's shot in like the early 80s.
Can we talk about the work of art that is the cover of this movie? I don't know if you guys have
Oh,
seen
yeah, I don't know.
the cover. This
Oh
is
yeah,
the
that's
cover.
that's the original
the King
poster.
of
Yeah.
Kong, a fistful of quarters. Hold on, let's read this. A middle school science teacher and a hot sauce mogul battle for the Guinness World Record on the arcade classic Donkey Kong. Don't get chumpatized is the tagline. And it's
Mr. Wonderfuls.
Mr. Awesome.
Mr. Awesome, yeah.
Yeah. That's his. He states that one time in the movie because I saw the poster and was like, I don't remember that line even being in the movie, but it is said at least once.
What's his name? I forget.
Mr. Awesome.
Yeah.
What's his real name? I don't know.
He was the guy that Billy Mitchell had it out for, right?
Yeah. It's not Brian Q. He's the
kill screen guy.
He's the kill screen guy.
Was it
the guy that retired.
Was it Adam Wood?
No.
Oh, okay. Let's just guess until it sounds right.
I don't know. Anyway,
But that's
that
also
guy.
the one that was like trying to help Weeby. And that, he was like, I can't have you help me anymore because Billy Mitchell will not accept.
Yeah, because he had given him
Roy Schilt.
He had given him Roy Schilt. Yeah,
Roy
he had
Schilt.
given him a new board for his Donkey Kong
Right.
machine. And
They
the guys like basically broke into his house for inspecting his Donkey Kong machine. They're like, they saw Roy Schilt's address on the box, and they're like, Roy Schilt, why is he doing this? And it's like this.
And then all of a sudden there was
It's
like,
like-
a little more glue than there should have been on one side of the
Yeah.
board.
I have to say, there's something suspicious here.
Yeah.
Couldn't point to it. Just scrolling through photos of the board. Like, I mean, it could be suspicious. Like,
Right, exactly. The fact that it could be suspicious means you no longer have a record.
Like, what?
Oh, and one of the people inspecting it was Billy Mitchell.
Yeah.
They were basically just his goons.
Oh,
Yeah.
100%.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they didn't want his records to go away.
Right. Billy Mitchell was part of.
I mean, he was like
Twin
the Michael
Galaxies.
Jordan
Yeah.
of video gaming, like records at the time.
Yeah.
Like he was the guy that had all these records.
I will
you
say,
know.
for Twin Galaxies, like, they did a full 180 on that, though. I mean,
Right,
now that
that's
they're
true.
the only ones that are like, nope. Like, we know that it's not real, basically. So.
Right.
Yeah.
But that also gives you a little bit of like what happened there? Like,
Yeah.
why did they turn so? And
Well, I think they probably watched that documentary and saw how awful they were.
Yeah.
they were like,
Steve
oh man,
Levy.
this doesn't really put us in a good
And
light.
how
We do not
serious-
come off well here.
And how seriously sweet, like, Steve Weeby is and his, like,
Yeah. He's just a good
earnestness
guy.
about,
Yeah.
like,
When he's like
Yeah.
crying at the end, that was sad.
oh, yeah.
So he doesn't play like Donkey Kong right now, but he said he wouldn't be against it, but like he said it takes him like a couple months of just playing every day to
Right.
get those scores.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's a teacher now.
Right.
so
Plus,
it's-
he has a family, and they need their butts wiped.
Yes, they do.
I love that. Oh man, there's so many memorable moments from this movie.
It was so great.
Daddy, why my butt? So it's like just in the background.
In a minute, kid. I'm playing Donkey Kong.
And it kind of made him look bad a little bit.
It's like-
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, kind of, but I mean,
I think he was
Like,
like,
where's the mom?
and that's the tape he submitted that got the
Yeah.
main
He had to,
score.
yeah.
Like he couldn't stop.
Right.
yeah.
So,
He was so close.
I
like
also
your
think-
butt can get wiped in 15 minutes,
Yeah.
but I'm not.
We'll
I
just
can't
throw you
stop
in the
this
water.
game.
It's fine. You're washable.
This run, it ain't gonna happen again.
This is really hard to do twice in a row. Like,
Right.
I can't.
But I mean, I don't know. You're right. There's just so many like little memorable parts, and like even when he goes to the competition in Billy's area,
Oh yeah.
and Billy refuses to come, and it's like day 1, day 2, and then they like
Yeah,
all the
it's in his
gamers.
hometown.
Yeah,
And then
all
he-
the gamers go to Billy's restaurant,
yeah.
and Billy is going to come out and hang out with all of them, but then Weeby shows up, and he doesn't show up for that either.
Yeah. His buddy was his name. What's his buddy? Steve.
There's like 30
Steve
people there, and
Sanders.
he can't even be in the same room.
Steve Sanders.
Steve Sanders. Yeah. He goes out to his car and is like
Yeah.
talking to him and stuff.
Well, and I thought it was funny. Isn't Steve Sanders? He gets dropped off at the
Yeah,
competition,
yeah.
and what's his name from Twin?
Walter Day.
Walter Day was like,
It's-
"You got dropped off. Was that Billy?" He's like, "Yeah."
No.
So Billy even drove there just to drop somebody off
And
to like peer through the window and see what was going on.
I love at the end when like Steve Sanders and Billy are sitting in the restaurant. It looks like, and they're asking Steve about Steve Weeby, and He's basically like, Steve's like, he's a stand-up guy.
Yeah,
whatever,
he's like, from all of
And
my
then
experience, I hung out with him some, and I
Yeah.
met his family, and he's just a great guy.
And then they asked Billy, and he's like, I'm not familiar with the situation.
Right.
Like, who? Like,
But then he also, like, the whole time he's kind of, like, eyeing his friend.
yeah. It's just
Why
Like,
like,
he's mad. Like, why would you say that?
I thought you were my friend.
Right.
Why'd you say he's nice? Like, because he is undeniably nice. Like, he never yells at anybody. He
Right.
doesn't get mad. He's just like, you can tell he's frustrated and upset, but he never
Just trying
gets
to get a score
like,
recognized.
And he had a lot to be
Yeah.
mad about.
yeah.
Right.
Like, they were really screwing him.
And he's
Yeah.
just like, I'm just gonna do it live and hope for the best. But like the machines that they have that you can do it live are hitting a kill screen before they get to his, the score threshold that
Yeah.
he has to be at. So it's like, man, I don't know.
Speaking of kill screens, that
Old Brian Koo, who retired at 30 and went to Walmart and bought a new shirt because you can still see the folds in the shirt when he goes to get his like 8 eggs and pancakes in the morning to fuel up for his Donkey Kong run.
he
I've
goes
seen
to
this
the
movie a few
first.
times.
That's the first time that Weeby is going to do it live.
Yeah.
And it's Billy's goons again.
Yeah.
There to report to Billy what's going on because, of course, Billy won't come. And they're like constantly calling him, reporting what's going on. But then when he's getting close to a record and to what is the kill screen, the last level of Donkey Kong, it's messed up or whatever.
Yeah.
They call it the kill screen. So when he's approaching that,
Brian Koo.
Brian Koo.
yeah, just goes around and is trying to put all the pressure on him. It's just like kill screen coming up if you want to see it.
And
Kill
Steve-
screen. And most people are just kind of like looking at him like you're weird, go away.
Sure, yeah.
But there does end up being like a crowd there.
And Steve's like, I was really kind of feeling like a zombie, but the crowd really helped me.
Right.
Yeah,
It was like backfired.
But yeah, it's kind of like so. I've listened to the commentary on this movie
Oh,
from the
nice.
directors. So they were just filming this competition for the most part at Fun Spot, and they kind of stumbled onto this whole Steve Wiebe,
Oh,
Billy
okay.
Mitchell thing. Like it wasn't planned. They were just like hoping to find some sort of a narrative to make a documentary.
They sure did.
They definitely stumbled on the big one, and so that's why there's stuff like with the lady that Billy Mitchell's helping with the Q-Bert.
Oh, that was cute.
Because they're
I mean, she was.
Yeah,
Billy
oh,
helping her
yeah.
wasn't that great.
no, but I mean, I like even she's like he's got he's something. He's got his plans.
Right.
He's got things to work out to his advantage.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm gonna take his Q-Bert.
I'm going to take advantage of
That's
it,
why
but
it was
he
like-
is Billy Mitchell.
That's why there's like so much footage of like her, and then they interview like Robert Murchak a lot, the dude with like the Total Recall shirt. And
Yeah.
He's got his little wrist weight thing.
Yeah.
His pile of VHS tapes.
His go-to. This will be impressive if they see me lifting weights.
Right. He's
Well,
like that, like
my
one little
joystick
weight.
arm while I'm like on this documentary.
While I'm watching these 40 hours of videotape.
But could you imagine his life having to watch all those tapes? Like
He doesn't get paid.
Yeah, this is volunteer.
It is a volunteer job.
It's like when I have to sit there and watch Dwayne's nibbler performance, like all 18 tapes, I have to. That's intense focus.
Sure is.
That is crazy. I could not imagine doing that.
That's a volunteer position. I'd just like to state that.
He
So
no
more
longer
power
works for
to
Twin
him.
Galaxies too.
Yeah.
Well, he never did.
Sure.
What's he do now?
I'm not sure, but I know Billy Mitchell turned against him as well.
Oh, I bet his forearm was really strong from all that weightlifting while watching.
Might be doing Overtop remake.
Oh my gosh! Please let him be in slap boxing. That would be amazing. I used to watch tapes all day. Now I just slap people.
I spent 8 years working out this one forearm.
Right. That's what I say.
Better believe I'm going to use it now.
He is set. He is set.
So what do you think it was about Billy Mitchell that people liked him so much? Like he had this crew. His parents. I mean, obviously his parents love him, but
Oh man, they were all about him for sure. I don't. It's almost one of those weird things where it's not I don't think it was something about him that they liked.
Like his personality or anything.
No,
It's like
it was
his
because
position.
of his position. He had the top score, so you in the I guess only in their world, you were cool if you were friends with him.
Yeah.
So it was one of those things where
Yeah.
it was more about what he was than who he was.
It's like, why
is
the
how I feel about it.
quarterback in high school has about a lot of like
Right.
hangers on.
Yeah, they're not usually cool either, but
Yeah, there's like I'm,
You know,
if
they
I'm
have
around
tons of
him,
friends.
maybe I'll be a little cooler.
Well,
Right.
it's
You know.
also,
Yeah, I
I
think
mean,
that's it.
he has done something they've been chasing for like, all these guys in the
Yeah, there's a
thing
little bit of
talk
envy.
about how that's
Yeah.
like all they wanted
right.
to do. Is
Brian
like,
Koo
be-
retired at 30 to get this Donkey Kong score.
Yeah, he wanted to get kill
Did
speed.
he ever like get close?
I think he did end up like he's there somewhere.
He's
He's
ranked.
not like super high.
He's ranked 50.
Yeah.
Oh,
He used to be. He was ranked 2 in the documentary.
Honestly,
Oh,
that's
okay.
not too bad.
He hit, I think, 680 was his high score.
Yeah.
yeah, and I think so. I mean, I do think there's obviously some envy there. Probably they do probably look up to him in as far as his score.
Well, it's like the image he
Success.
puts out there.
Yeah.
Like they talk
Right.
about, like he is the hot sauce.
right.
Which have you tried it yet?
I've not tried the hot sauce yet, but if you guys would like to sample some, it's here.
oh my gosh.
We might have
We
to
have
do
actual
that.
Ricky's hot sauce in the room.
See, Billy Mitchell, we even bought your product. Just remember that.
We would have him on here.
Oh yeah, Billy, you can
Billy,
definitely come and
on
talk
here.
to us.
He
We
could be.
will
I mean, like
not
he
defame
could.
you
He
at
could
all.
be very like charismatic.
think
We
so.
don't. I don't think
Well,
we
that's
see
part
like,
of it. Yeah,
this
for
is-
sure.
This is a documentary, and they're telling a story, and I don't think that it's inaccurate, but I do think that it's edited in the best way to make the story feel
Yeah.
like grandiose, right?
Yeah.
So it's like he could, when the stuff with Steve Wiebe isn't going on, be a very charismatic guy that might be enjoyable to be around.
Right, that's true.
In us within that community or whatever. Though I mean, I hang out with a lot of nerds. I'm a big nerd, and sometimes just the fact that he has something outside of that like he has a wife and a business, and some people equate success with likability, and so
He dressed for success.
that could be part of it too.
Those ties.
That hair.
Oh, that hair.
I think I've figured out my Halloween costume for next year.
Oh my gosh,
Yes.
yes.
Oh my
That's
god.
great.
Yes. So
Happy Steve Wiebe.
yes. That would be
You
so
can
good.
be
says-
Walter.
Mr. Awesome.
You want to be Mr.
Oh.
Awesome?
Okay, you can be
Or are
that.
you gonna get the knockoff military?
No, I want to be
uniform?
Brian Koo.
Oh, even better.
Okay, so we need to make sure that we like
Do
slide
not
your
take the shirt
out of
so
the
that
package.
it says,
I'll go to
like,
Walmart.
folded right before.
I mean,
Oh, it's like it's not Freddie or Jason or Michael this year. It's Billy Mitchell.
I think what added to the mockumentary vibe of this whole thing was every time they interview Steve Wiebe's family, and they have no idea what's going on, but they're like trying to be supportive.
I like his friend who's like, a lot of us don't have a friend who's the best in the world
At anything.
something.
Right.
You know, it's like I got no problem sending him back east. You know, Like, yeah, I love it.
That's funny.
That's a good friend though.
oh yeah, he's supporting him no matter what.
His wife's like, I don't get it. I know I'm the wife of the
I
Donkey
wish
Kong
you wouldn't
guy.
play as much.
I kind of wish you would play as
Wish
much,
you would
but
take care of your kids, but you know,
Other than that, I guess it's cool. We'll go with you.
but even she's like, I don't get it, but you know, I love my husband and I want him to.
I won't
Right.
And she's like, you know, he hasn't like,
He was like filling a void as well.
yeah, because they talk about how he hadn't like he was a pitcher, he's a really good artist, and nothing had really kind of clicked,
Stuck, yeah.
you know, and so this was some way for him to really show his quality, like,
Right.
like what he, you know, really to the world, like something that he could do that not many other people could do.
Yeah, and that's
And that's really sweet. You
and
know?
it comes through, and it's not. You can tell that's why he's doing it. It's not because he, like, even inviting Billy. It's not out of malice or
No,
anything like
he
that.
just-
He wants to be the best to be the best.
Well, he just, I mean, like he's talking about it at some point, he's just like, I just want to get my score recognized.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
I did this score. And it's like, and it's just coming from a place of like, doing the right thing. Like, I want,
Right,
I did
exactly.
this. I would like to have it recognized. You know,
Right.
will do whatever I need to do to.
I think at a certain point, though, it became a little personal with him.
Well, I mean, when
and
somebody
it motivated him to.
I think
play
so.
better.
But,
Yeah.
and when somebody is completely refusing to be a part of anything that you're doing when they hold the record,
Or just to acknowledge your existence.
and yeah,
Like he comes in the arcade at the end, like showing his wife around,
walking
like,
around.
Oh yeah, this is this. Yeah, this is the Cubert, and this is this, and they're just like,
And she's-
oh, we don't want to hang around here.
yeah,
As he
she
wa- as he
stops at
walks
Donkey
past.
Kong
Yeah.
for a second, and he's like, "Well, we don't want to hang around people too much."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never mentions who it is. Never. I think Weeby says hi, and he doesn't respond.
Yeah.
And he just like gets his wife and keeps walking. So yeah, I think it would become personal.
And the arcade cabinet has Billy Mitchell's name right on
Right.
Yeah.
it. Steve Wiebe and Billy Mitchell.
I'm amazed he hasn't put his name on the Ricky's hot sauce.
Is it not on there anywhere?
It's not.
Yeah, so he claims this is all like really, and it probably has. It's ruined his reputation.
Right.
Furthermore, to the point that when he went to his doctor after all this came out, his doctor wouldn't treat him because his doctor said he cheated at Donkey Kong.
Karma's a mother.
Does the I would
the
like to
doctor
know.
play
That's what I was gonna say. Is the doctor one of those people trying to
The
get a
doctor's
good
ranked
score?
18th.
Yeah, it seems unbelievable. There's probably something else. He was probably just being a jerk.
Yeah, but I mean, if it's like a small area and the doctor doesn't want to associate it with somebody that has been
Cheating at Donkey Kong.
cheating or put out there as if they are cheating, whether he did or not,
Allegedly,
just allegedly, if the whole area thinks he looks like a bad guy,
Yeah.
maybe the doctor didn't want to do
Nationally
anything.
defamed. I mean, he got the score. He just did it on an emulator,
Right.
which is
Yeah.
different than getting it on a cabinet.
But they even took his
Significantly different.
his original high score from the 80s off, which he played live.
Right.
Yeah.
For that
See,
score.
I don't think that should be allowed.
Yeah.
I guess it's maybe like since so many other scores had been
Fraudulent.
that
Yeah.
they just have to remove any.
I think they put them all under review
Yeah.
for permanent. But Guinness has reinstated him. He is via the Guinness World Records. He is still in the listing.
And they probably lost a lot of trust in Twin Galaxies anyway.
Yeah, a very small.
Understand.
I wouldn't know why.
I wouldn't know why
It
either.
seemed like they just got it together.
Yeah.
What you talking about, Todd?
I mean, they do have the guy with the weight.
I mean, maybe if they paid their video watchers.
Yeah, if it wasn't just some random guy watching VHSs 72 hours straight,
Saying, yeah, that's good.
unpaid,
Eyes bleeding.
Probably
right.
help a little bit.
definitely held open by toothpicks. But overall, I mean, I think the movie it was hilarious. It was good. It was a great documentary. Like I said, it has everything you want in a movie. Honestly,
Yeah, it kind of blurs this line between like a documentary and just being like a movie.
ridiculous.
Like they could have
Yeah.
just made this a movie.
Oh, 100%.
I'm really surprised they
Yeah.
haven't like adapted it into a movie. Or
That would be great.
show.
Or like a musical.
Oh my God.
There were talks of
Yes.
making a movie.
Yes, absolutely. I would take a King of Kong musical. They probably don't want to touch it because I'm
Yeah.
sure they might. I mean, I don't know if Seth Gordon has ever had legal fees that he's had to pay because of this, but like,
Well, like speaking on that, like so Billy Mitchell, there's a little bit of trivia, sold his life rights to the story for a theatrical remake that never took place. And one of his demands before signing was that Roy Schilt be omitted from the remake,
Oh my god.
and that no character resembling him would be included in the remake at all.
Wow.
but that's no good. Like, I feel like that's a good side character.
Nobody wants that.
You need him. He's funny.
You need Mr. Awesome.
He's and also like, I mean, that's the thing that really gets me is like, yeah, obviously Roy Schilt and Billy Mitchell have their beef, right? But Roy Schilt did like help Steve Wiebe cheat at Donkey Kong or something like that. He
No.
he knew he could win, and so he gave him a board.
I want more information
Right.
on their like what was I forget the game that they wouldn't recognize Roy Schilt's score.
Missile Command.
Missile Command.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why they wouldn't.
Yeah, it's like I want to know the story on that.
It's probably a similar thing. Just Billy
Billy had the
Mitchell.
high score and he didn't want anybody else to have it. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Or Billy didn't
That's
like
maybe
him.
why he like reached out to Steve because he's like sees a similar situation like going on there where it's just like this isn't right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's like him and Billy are a bit cut from the same cloth, just like a slightly.
A little different.
Yeah.
So I also just read that other podcast, Now Playing Podcast, reviewed The King of Kong as well and gave it 3 recommends.
Why is this random podcast on IMDb trivia?
I don't know, but we better get on there now.
Listen, I want to be on IMDb trivia.
We also
Well,
would recommend this one, and we
this
give
podcast?
it 4 recommends.
Yes.
I
I'd say
would give it
now.
a 5
Now
recommends. Now
Yeah.
playing.
I just assumed it meant there were 3 people that recommended it,
Oh,
and
well, we
there's
give
4 of us right now.
Yeah.
All right, so I guess that basically brings us to the end of our discussion on these movies. I think we thoroughly enjoyed watching both of them. Would you guys say? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I enjoyed watching King of Kong for my 72nd time.
Right. It was really fun discussing both of them. I really enjoyed it. So thanks, Todd, for being on the podcast again.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and recommending these good movies. It was a good one.
Yeah. It wasn't Troll 2.
Huh?
It wasn't Troll 2.
I'm so confused. It was
Like,
not.
they were good movies. I
Troll
didn't know
2's
that.
good.
I know it is.
I was thinking more like it wasn't Mulholland Drive.
Ooh. We about to see a slap fight.
Oh, I'm gonna pass
I do think it's funny that we picked the last time Todd was, we did the Troll 2, and then we did Best Worst Movie, and we did a documentary and a movie this
Yeah,
time, too.
I like doing a documentary.
Yeah.
I think we'll do some more of those. But anyways, so that brings us to the end of this episode. The next episode will be actually Toby's going to pick some movies. If you want to tell us about that, I guess.
So our next one will be so it's Valentine's Day, or it will be coming out on Valentine's Day. And since Aaron hates all things about love, we decided to do horror movies with heart instead.
Not we. Toby decided.
Okay.
Dripping blood hearts.
Well, you're going to like it. We're doing Last Night in Soho, which has Anya Taylor-Joy in it and is a great movie. We actually watched it with the Real Cinephiles Movie Club back when we were doing that, and it's wonderful. And then the other movie is a Korean zombie movie called Train to Busan. And I won't reveal why these movies have heart, but you'll have to watch them and find out.
Okay.
And we'll talk about it.
So that's what we'll be coming back with next time. Also, coming up, we're going to be at HerdCon,
Woo!
which is Marshall's like Comic-Con type event.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be March 25th, and we're actually going to do a live podcast.
Yeah.
So that should be fun
As
and
well as like
interesting.
a couple panels, I think, too.
We're going to be sitting in on their podcasting panel.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
And we will also have a table, so you guys can come see
Where
us.
I will be selling headshots.
That's not what's happening.
It's a podcast.
And if there isn't at least 33 people, we're going to be very offended.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or at least 5. But Todd will be joining us for that as well. He'll be on that episode. So yeah, just, if you would want to come watch that or listen to it, stream live, or just attend HerdCon, that will be on March 25th. So mark that on your calendars. But anyways, guys, that is this episode. So join us next time when we discuss Toby's picks. But until then, I'm Aaron.
I'm Josh.
And this has been Real Opposites.